Hello, listeners all over the world. This is a podcast. The name of this podcast is Voice Out with Osas. Voice Out with Osas is a confidential storytelling podcast created for people facing abuse, trauma, or overwhelming life challenges. Here on this podcast, guests are given the option to remain completely anonymous while sharing their experiences in a respectful and supportive environment. This platform exists to create understanding, healing, and connection for those who feel unheard. If you have been silenced, this is your invitation to speak. Like I said previously, someone in Indiana reached out to me and said something that stayed with me. She told me she had been carrying her pain in silence for years, keeping everything to herself. The more she kept it in, the more it hurt. She said she needed a safe space to voice out what she's been going through. Her past, her presence, the mistakes, the lesson, not for sympathy, but so others could learn not to repeat the same mistakes. So, I'm here with my guest. She will remain anonymous, no name, and she will go to the story. I, the host of SARS, will be asking a few questions. First question for my anonymous guest is, how are you feeling right now, sitting here and sharing your story?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me, Osas. I appreciate having this kind of platform where I'm able to share or express myself freely without being judged, share my own experience with the hope that somebody somewhere can learn from it, especially someone who is about to make a life-changing decision as to who they are going to spend the rest of their life with. I want to believe that, like they always say, that's one of the most important decisions of your life, apart from your decision to, serve God, right? So yeah, for me, I feel it is time to talk about it. I feel I have healed to some extent, thanks to God. And I feel I want to serve as an advocate for women like myself or even men alike, because abuse is not just a gender-specific situation. It affects all kinds of people. And sad to say, men are also experiencing it as well. So me talking about it is an avenue to help these people, everyone, learn from my own experience and prevent a reoccurrence in their own lives. Like they said, you don't wish what happened to you to happen to your enemy, right? So that is why I'm happy that I'm invited as a guest to talk about my life experiences. And I feel great about it. So thank you once again.
Thank you. And we are happy to listen to you, to hear you at Voice Out with Osas. And there are many listeners all over the world that want to learn from your lesson. So I want to ask a question. What made you decide that this was the moment to speak out?
Yes, a lot of factors actually, Osas. For one, I want to believe I've advanced to a certain age now that I'm not afraid anymore. I also want to say because I find myself in a country that allows freedom of speech and without judgment. Thank God for that. And this opportunity enabled me to be able to be bold and courageous, to not be afraid of sharing my feelings or speaking out about my experiences with anyone who cares to listen.
Yeah.
Abuse is deep. The kind of abuse I suffer as a person is a deep one. For one, it happened in a community that is close-knit. It happened in a community whereby, back home in Africa, it is something that is never done. A woman cannot just wake up and say, I want to leave a marriage because it's not working for me. It's more like a taboo. You can't do that. No family will support you. No church will support you. nobody will support you. Not even friend will support you. And even if you have a very close friend that it seems supportive, the moment people are turning their backs on you, they are also torn between what they need to do, either to stay with you or to turn against you. I lost everything. I lost friends. I lost family members. I lost people when my own life happened to me. And yeah, it's deep because when it happened, I was very young. I was just in my early 20s. And unfortunately, it was the first husband, first boyfriend, first fiance, first husband of my life. So you can imagine how young I was. I was actually about 21 year old when I met him. And at that time, we are talking about almost 2 decades ago. It's not in the kind of environment in which I grew up in. As much as it looks like you have a say in your future, but you really do not have a say. Your parents have a say, especially if you're a girl child. A girl child, your parent decides for you what you're going to do because you are emotionally tied to them and even mentally as well. You can't stand freely on your own, to tell them, this is the person I want, this is what I want to do. My own kind of family, because we grew up with a single parent, we loved our parent a lot. And whatever our parents said to tell us then seems like they know better. So if your parent tells you work with this person, we don't go against it because we just trust them, right? And if your parents say this is the person that should be your friend, we don't counter it. So when mine happened to me and this suitor came for my hand in marriage at 22, my parents were just like, he's the man. He's hardworking, he's spiritual, he has he have a good job, he come from a good family. He's the dream man for any family to call a son-in-law. So for me, it was the deal. Even when I hesitated in my own little mind then, my own, remember, like I said, it was my first everything. So I didn't know anyone other than before him. So I don't have like a metric to compare it with, right? So the experience was more like, he was the deal. I don't have anybody before him, prior to him, to compare him with. So, but I still have some hesitations. There's that instinct in you as a young girl that this was too good to be true. Let me bust you guys' bubbles here, my audience, the audience. Have you ever been in a relationship whereby you are dating someone, and for the first 2 years of a relationship, for the 2 years you dated, all 2 years you dated, you never fought? No argument, no disagreement, no what we'll call fight, but I want to say disagreement. Nothing. It was just as your lordship pleases. And it's so tricky because in this instance, I was the lordship during the dates. So it was my call. Whatever I want get done. I was never hungry. I don't have to even say anything twice. It has to be my way. Everything was done according to the way I wanted it. So while I was in that kind of dating phase of the relationship, it seems too good to be true because I was like, I have siblings, friends that will say, when you're dating someone, you have to disagree, right? You don't always like the same thing.
Yep.
But in this relationship of mine, we never disagree. If I say anything, think of any situation, nothing. No red flag, so to speak. It was just all green. Little did I know that I was being love bombed, right? So, but like I was saying, I had some hesitation back then, like, oh, this was just too good to be true. This was too perfect. It shouldn't be perfect like this, And then my parents loved him too. So it was more like a win-win situation for everybody. My daughter is happy. The parent is happy. Even though I had my own hesitations, I gave in. And before I know it, we got married. It was so fast. And that 2 years, it looks long to some people. Like, it looked like a long duration kind of relationship. It wasn't really long because I was in school. And I wasn't living in the same environment at that time. So I was mostly in school. You know how the university system is back home. So you travel to school, you'll be in school for a couple of 3, 4, 5 months at a stretch, then come home for a few weeks and go back. So when you say 2 years relationship, you can actually count how many times I get to go home to see my so-called fiance or boyfriend. And also too, it did help the fact that he works offshore as well. So he too have a kind of work schedule whereby he has to go to work like every 2 weeks. So we rarely see. So it was more like a relationship, long distance kind of relationship. So that was what made that 2 years rather, more like a long time. But if we remove all those absences and look at the amount of time we actually spent together as a couple, I would say 6 months. So it was pretty fast because we really did not know each other. It was more like narcissist behavior, love bombing, early stage kind of a thing. And I being, like I said, a naive young person, I didn't really understand what was going on. I just thought the man was in love with me, and I felt privileged, you know.
Yep.
And that was how it is. We got married, and then that was when the whole thing changed. In fact, if you ask me, when did I know I was in for it? I would say wedding night. The night of the wedding, after the wedding, was when I knew I was in for it. And honestly, all the green flags, all the red flags I saw, that I felt, that instinctively I was not comfortable with, I saw it in real life, like right from the wedding day. This was a man, it's very tricky situation. This was a man who never made sexual, like who never really forced himself on me, so to speak. He respected the fact that I wanted to wait till marriage. That is, you know, even when he wanted to, he will hold back once I say I don't want it, and he respected that. So for that 2 years, we were more like a saint, like chaste, whatever you want to call it, kind of relationship. Little did I know that all is, oh, okay, I'm gonna wait. Oh, it's fine. Is that how you want it? We'll do it just that way. Oh,
so are you not saying he was pretending for 2 years?
Yes, that is exactly the point I'm making right now. Because little did I know that those 2 years of courtship or relationship, that everything was just going the way I wanted in terms of everything you can think of, he was actually cheating on me with other women. So while he was saying, I'm not going to be intimate with you because I'm respecting your chastity till marriage kind of a thing, he was actually dating other people. But I did not know all of that because I was in school, right? I was in another state schooling while he was another state working, and our both parents were living in another state. So for us to technically see, we have to both travel to where our parent lives. I go back home to my parent. He travels to visit his parent, and he goes back to where he works. I go back to school. So it was not like a long distance thing. So he was dating simultaneously multiple people, not even one person, while he was dating me. So I, on my own end, I was thinking, oh, this is a good man, you know, that respects my values, and he's respecting me all the way. No, I got to find out that wedding night and days after that there were actually other people. And the only sole reason why he went head on to marry me was because he's not someone that accepts defeat. So since I didn't make myself available to him during marriage, during dating, he was like, okay, if he's to get married to you, that'll get me there, they'll get the cookie, then I'm going to make sure I get married to you. And also, I'm not saying that's the sole reason. Probably I check other boxes for him as well. I was naive, right? So a narcissist needs a naive person. I was an empath. Yes, a narcissist needs an empath to thrive. So I was more like checking the boxes for the kind of lifestyle I would have wanted. So yeah, we got married, and that was it. All hell broke loose and my abuse started on a large scale. And from that point onward, I knew I was in for it. Now the question is, how will I get out? I couldn't. Considering the family, the environment, the culture, I could not. Each time I went back home, I relate my experience. Each time I go back home, I relate my experience to my parents, to my siblings, to my community. Nobody believed me. Because at that point, he started living a kind of life more like playing the game, you know?
So after marriage, you guys were living in a different state, and your both parents were living in different states.
That's correct. So after marriage, I went to live with him in a different state where he was working. So it was
In Nigeria.
in Nigeria. Back home, all of these are in Nigeria. So back home, I lived with him in that state where he was working, and that was when I actually found out all those girls. They were shocked, when and he didn't tell them either. That was another part of it. He just went to normal. I'm going to Lagos to see my folks, and came back with a woman and married. So it was a shock to everybody. Like, were you getting married? And I did not know. And then all the girls and everybody were like, really? And I was like, I still saw you yesterday. Oh, I was still with you last week. Yes. That was the kind of marriage I had. So it was then it dawned on me that it was actually all a fluke.
So during the wedding, he never invited his friends, right?
No. The only people that came along were people who were his inner caucus, like your ride or die small community, like the kind of people, the same kind of people that know you, like you are in the same bubble. Yeah. But when you call about it, in fact, I remember an incident, or as I just remembered again, an incident that happened. So as a young girl, okay, if I'm getting married, I can as well do it well, right? And we girls who want to publicize, then it was the time of I think BlackBerry just started coming out then. And or even before BlackBerry, we don't have instant messages then, I think. But no, instant messages just started. 2007, instant messaging just started. So I had a phone, and I was sending instant messages to the numbers I had on my phone. And that was the first time I would say he actually really had a disagreement that was heated with me. When he found out I sent a mass message that I was getting married to people, inviting people that cares to come because I'm a people person, he was so mad that I did that, and he fought me hard for it. And that was one fight I would say, okay, maybe I can say it was a real disagreement. Like, why would I send
was there any
messages?
form of discussion that he wanted a secret marriage?
Nothing to my knowledge, no explanation. Like when I even asked him that, why do you not want people to know we are getting married? It's not like, it's not like in Africa when you are pregnant, they'll say you are hiding because you got pregnant, right? Or if you have a child, you're hiding because you have a child. None of that is at play here. We've not even had sex. We are just who we are. Why shouldn't people know I'm getting married? So it was like, when we invite a lot, so his mindset was, if you invite a lot of people will show up because we are both very popular people, and we'll have the budget will not be able to accommodate them. So manipulation comes in. We'll not be able to accommodate the budget, the number of people that will show up, because in Africa, we all know there's a wedding, everybody show up. You don't need invitation. So his utterances was that the more people we invite, the more we can control the crowd, the more we'll go out of budget. So manipulatively, I was like, oh, okay, maybe I was wrong, true. Maybe we should have talked about it. Maybe I shouldn't have just sent it out. But in reality,
it works offshore. That shouldn't be a problem.
That's correct. But you have the money. So it took years for me to start realizing that it wasn't actually the reason he told me was the reason, but it was actually mainly because he was trying to hide something. Because he works offshore, he works in one of the biggest oil giant company in the country. You are well paid, you are an engineer. Money was not the problem. But it was just people will get to know. And that incident actually played out in a very interesting way, because when I sent that mass message, one of his girls, so-called girlfriend, got to know he was getting married. And this girlfriend was not actually a girlfriend, but because she had a baby for him that I do not know about.
Whoa.
So that's even a story for another day. So this person, and that is why this is so deep and painful, this person was one of those people that I actually met during my visit to his family home and introduced herself as one of his family friends. Like, in Africa, we are very communal. Like, we have a lot of community, aunties, uncles, nephew, cousins, everybody come around. So it was one of those female faces I saw in his household, and I thought they were, family. Little did I know they were beyond that. They were not even related, so they were beyond that. And they had a baby together. And when I eventually found out after being married, that was actually what led to the divorce. So, not to cut the chase, she was also one of those people that found out, and there was a big fight with him and this person in question that was oblivious to me. So his argument with me was just, oh, we don't have money to cover a lot of people if they come around. But he had to fight another battle elsewhere, like, oh, you are getting married to someone else, not me. So all of those were happening during the wedding, period. And I did not know until after the wedding. So yeah, it was a lot of
Was it a legal court wedding?
It was a legal court wedding. We had the wedding in Ikoyi marriage registry. We invited church people, we invited families, we invited friends. Everybody was on there. We have a sizable number of people. I was in school. Some of my classmates came. We had a sizable number of people. About 200, 250 attended the wedding. We did traditional, like we do in Nigeria. We do court. We did everything. So it was just well played out that it was just like a movie, because on that wedding day, I was still having doubt. I still didn't want to go through with it, but I didn't just have the power and the gut, the courage to say no. I did not have it. I went with it. In fact, on my wedding day, I was looking like I was mourning. I was crying all through. People were asking me, why were you crying? And I was saying, no, it's because I missed my mother, because my mother was late. But I knew deep down in me, I knew I was signing up for something I do not want. And I was signing up also for something that is not true. But I just don't know what it is. And I didn't have the courage. And I didn't have I just needed someone of importance to me to tell me, do not follow through, do not do this. But I didn't have that person, unfortunately, around me. Everybody around me were going with the fact that, oh, she's getting married. Oh, we are happy. I didn't know I was signing up for my downfall. And that was life-changing for me. That was when I knew that marriage is one of the most important decisions of your life. I mean, you are signing up to somebody you are going to be sharing a kid with, their personality, their lifestyle. My life changed from that day up until now.
So when you look back, when did you first realize something was wrong in the marriage?
Wedding night, like I said, because the wedding night, how do I know? We got wedded on a Saturday. We finished the wedding. We went home. I still remember, like, it's clear as the blue sky. The driver that drove us home, and at the door, he told the driver, in fact, the driver came in, the chauffeur came in actually. I offered him a drink, and the guy drank, and he came out and told the guy, thank you, your job is over, you may leave now. I want to be with my wife. And that statement will sound like, oh, an excited married man, right? Because after that young man left, the next thing he told me is, statement that came out from his mouth was, now we are married. Go into the room, take off your clothes, you are now my wife. That's it.
Whoa.
And before that, I need food first. I was like, wait a minute.
Your scenario look robotic.
Exactly. I was like, but we just finished wedding. We just came home. I should just take off my wedding gown, go cook for you, and get ready in the room. That's it. That was when I knew. I cried that night. It was that night I started looking for a way out. But guess what? It took me another 11 years to find my exit. That's the story for another day. I
So
remember.
were there early signs of control or emotional abuse that you know at the time?
Like I said earlier, during dating, looking back now, initially I said at that age I didn't see anything, no disagreement, no fight, nothing. But now being at this age of mine and at 40 and looking back, there were signs that I was just not experienced enough to detect. There were signs, and the signs were someone who was love bombing you with anything, money, anything you can. I remember I used to fly to school. Back there in Nigeria, I'm talking about 2005, 2006. I used to fly to school. I take air flight to school instead of going by road. I fly to the north, and I was schooling in North Futmina. So I flew there. I flew to the north, and everybody know me as a big girl. I didn't have a car, but I had comfort. I live in the best hostel. My room was sophisticated. I had a big boy, what we would call sugar daddy those days, financing me. It was love bombing. And it never, another thing I saw, another red flag was it never allowed me have any friend. I remember even all the friends I had before I met him, he did something, he said something, he instigated something, he insinuated something that destroys those relationships. If they are girls, it will be statements like, and mainly for him, the abuse at that time was mainly manipulation. It was mainly manipulation. You manipulating a girl you are 10 years older than, a naive, innocent human being. So at that time, it was not physical. It was not any other mentor or whatever. It was just manipulation. Well, I can say it's a mentor. It's not emotional, but it was mental. It was just manipulation. Someone playing with your head. So imagine friends you grew up with, somebody telling you they are bad for you. That's a red flag. Imagine your own family. This is somebody that will start insinuating that my brother cannot, be in the same space as me. He is my brother, my blood. But you insinuate, I don't know what you want to insinuate. I can't even be in the same space with my own father because he's a male. So anybody male figure cannot be around me. Talk more of having a male friend. And we all know how we talk about male friend, but it was more like anybody male. It's not even just having a male friend. It's cousins, uncle, brothers, biological brother, same mother, same father, not step brother. My own dad. He made sure that it severe our relationships. In fact, if you ask any of my siblings, they will tell you from the time she started dating to the time she got married, there are some of my family members, siblings, I do not have relationship. They don't know me because it's like I was plucked out of that space and they never got to know me until after the divorce. And then I even now moved out, of the country. So some of our family members are still trying to know who I am because they never have that relationship with me, because starting from when I started dating that man up to marriage, I was uprooted and taken away from them. So he isolated me. Isolation, that's the second red flag. Manipulation, isolation, and love bombing were the three main red flags I saw, but I never interpreted it that way when we were dating.
Because he's a manipulator, a controller. Mm-hmm. For him to be successful, he has to cut people off from you.
That's
people
correct.
That will advise you the other way.
Mm-hmm. No lie. That's exactly what happened. I remember I had this childhood friend. She was my best friend. Like when I say childhood, we've known each other since we were like 18. And yes, at that time I was still young too, but we've been friends for over 5 years before I even met him, right? And he severed that relationship. And what did he instigate? Oh, your friend is jealous of you. Remember, your friend don't have a relationship. You have a relationship, a stable one. She wants me. She's making advances at me. As a young girl, imagine that kind of thoughts in your head, right? You are also naive. You'll be like, really? You mean this person is coming after you? Okay, I'm cutting ties with this person. Little did I know that was not true. So games. So to cap it up, I would say my advice just for this dating phase of it, there's still a lot more, but just this dating phase is try to even if you don't have like a past experience to measure your current experience with, even if this person is your first person you're dating, you're getting to know and all of that, try to still stay educated about relationship. And there are many avenues, thankfully for social media, thankfully for books, thankfully for be educated about what you're getting yourself into. Try to get to know who you are working with. Have honest conversation. If you have doubt, there's something God created in we women. It's called instinct. We are instinctively, we have it wise. It's a gift because we're also very emotional. So God knows that we need that instinction in us, or and He balances it out for us. So never allow your emotional part of you to supersede your instinct. So if your instinct is telling you something is wrong, please listen to it, because 99.9% of the time, you'll be correct, you'll be right. Never allow emotions or what people say to supersede how you are feeling about someone. And that even make me, I was listening to Steve Harvey one time, and I'm going to just say something briefly. He said, instinct is a gift from God to women. Trust it. If I had trusted it, even if my society was against me, I would have gone with it. And secondly, do not be afraid. See, relationship, marriage, people you invite into your personal space, one needs to be very careful with it. I will start from even relationships. Some relationships don't lead to marriage. Even relationship. See, the fact that you'll be spending some time of your day, some time of your week, some times of your month, or even years with someone, a human being, inviting that person to your inner space. It is very important to only have around you people that are supposed to be around you, not negative people, not narcissist people. If you see any sign that somebody is not wanting your success or is not truly appreciating you for who you are, and you would know, like I said earlier, instinct will let you know. You will say some things. Like another thing too, I remember too, during that dating phase, this man was also someone who was actually jealous of me. And situation presents itself. How do I mean? Imagine this scenario: you go on a date and you go to this restaurant to eat, and somebody, a female, male alike, anybody, can just pay a compliment. Oh, no, thank you for coming to our restaurant today. And you to respond alike and say, thank you for having us. In fact, I really enjoyed this meal. How did you guys make? Can I get to say thank you to the chef? And you're having a wholesome, mature conversation with the waiter and maybe the chef, because that's what happened in this scenario I'm narrating. And after the whole thing played out, you have your so-called fiance or boyfriend tell you, why are you flirting with the waiter? Like I said, I reiterate, it was an awesome gesture of thanking them for a meal you enjoy. But your partner, on the other hand, translation was, you are flirting in his presence. That's a red flag. Because that is somebody that's telling you, I want to control you. I want to tell you when to speak. I want to tell you when to talk. I want to tell you who to talk to. Those happened during our dating phase. And all of this now materialize into a bigger scale during the marriage phase. So yes, there were red flags. To answer your question, there were a lot of red flags. There was even one time, and this is very personal, when I said he respected my values as to intimacy, I remember an incident when he came to my school then, he had driven down, and he's also very what I would say obsession. People will interpret it as love. It's not love. So imagine someone traveling from New York to Indiana, or let me say Florida to Indiana by road. You drove down from Florida to Indiana, a 12-hour drive time, unannounced. You knock on the hostel door of your female or your girlfriend, and she opened and saw you. And meanwhile, a night before, you spoke, and he never told you he was on his way to see you. I repeat, 12-hour drive time, 12 hours. That is not love. At the young girl me, I thought that was love. At the mature girl me now, that is not love. That was control. That was lack of trust and insecurity. Somebody coming to check if you're cheating on him. And as if that was not it. Okay, you appeared at my door. Surprise, surprise. Okay, but I spoke with you yesterday. You never said you were coming. I just want to surprise you. You know, I missed you. And things like that went out. Okay. And then at that time, I'm like, I live with a roommate. You cannot stay in my hostel. He got an hotel for himself. But then you're like, come spend the night. And I was like, according to my values, which the point I'm trying to make is you say you respected it, right? It was a lie too, because it was just playing a game to get what you want. Because at that time, I remember that was the first time what I would call rape now, he made an attempt. But at that time, I didn't see it as rape. I saw it more like somebody just lusting over you. When somebody don't listen to no, unless you are forceful about it, you run out of the room. That's a forceful no exit, right? No should be okay when you say, no, I'm good. But if you have to run outside as seeking for help, there is no longer a respectable no, is now a forceful no, if you understand what I mean. So that incident too, I cowardly hide that truth. In fact, I will tell you, Osas, this is the first time I'm confidently saying it and admitting that it happened. Because before now, I never tell anybody it happened to me, because it was a shameful thing to talk about, because of the face we were carrying, virtuous, chaste people. No. Now that I know what abuse is, I'm telling everyone he actually tried to rape me, because that was just a breeding ground for many, many things that he did after in the marriage. So yes, that 2 years relationship was jam-packed with a lot of red flags, but I didn't know what to call it then. So you would know. You would know. Your instinct will tell you. And don't be ashamed. Don't ever feel if this man leaves, I won't find another. Maybe that's another thing that happened. I allowed him manipulate me into thinking. I was 22. I was in my prime. For Christ's sake, I will have found 1,000 others. So yeah, that's just it. Yeah, I could go on and on.
Okay. As we wrap up today's episode of Voice Out with Osas, I want you to know this. If any part of today's story sounds like your life, you are not weak, you are not broken, and you are not alone. Speaking out doesn't mean you have all the answers. It simply means you are choosing not to suffer in silence anymore. Healing starts with one voice, one moment, one decision to say, I deserve better. If you are listening and you have been carrying pain in silence, I want you to hear this clearly. You don't have to speak today. You don't have to speak publicly. And you don't have to speak perfectly. But when you are ready, your story deserves to be heard safely, respectfully, and on your own terms. Thank you for listening. There will be an episode 2 of this story going on with our anonymous guest. Subscribe, like, and share. Thank you.